In the heart of the ancient Finnish forests, where the birch trees whispered secrets to the wind and the lakes held the reflections of old gods, there lived a young and reckless would-be magician named Joukahainen. Ambitious and proud, he had long heard tales of Väinämöinen, the greatest wizard of all, whose songs could move mountains and calm storms. But instead of reverence, Joukahainen felt a burning desire to prove himself superior, to stand above even the legendary Väinämöinen. One fateful day, driven by the fires of his ambition, Joukahainen sought out the mighty wizard. When he finally found him, the air itself seemed to hum with the power that emanated from Väinämöinen. But the young man, filled with arrogance, declared a challenge, a duel of magical songs, where the very earth and sky would be their battleground. Väinämöinen, wise beyond measure, looked upon the young man with a mix of pity and warning. "Turn back, young one," he urged, his voice deep and steady like the roots of an ancient oak. "This path you tread is fraught with danger." But Joukahainen would not be swayed. His pride was a wildfire, consuming any trace of doubt. "I will not retreat," he declared, his voice trembling not with fear, but with a dangerous determination. With a sigh that seemed to echo through the ages, Väinämöinen began to sing. His voice was a force of nature, ancient, powerful and unstoppable. The trees bent toward him, the earth trembled beneath his feet, and the sky darkened as if acknowledging the power of his song. Joukahainen, unprepared for the sheer might of the wizard's magic, felt the ground beneath him start to shift. As Väinämöinen's song reached its peak, the earth opened up, and Joukahainen began to sink slowly at first, but then with increasing speed. The soil swallowed his legs, then his waist, and soon he was up to his chest, fighting desperately against the pull of the earth. Panic gripped him as he realized he had underestimated the wizard. His life was slipping away, and his pride had led him to the brink of death. "Spare me," Joukahainen cried out, his voice cracking with desperation. "I will give you anything you desire." Väinämöinen paused, his eyes narrowing as he considered the young man's plea. "And what can you offer me, young fool?" In a voice thick with fear, Joukahainen made his fateful offer. "My sister, Aino," he stammered. "She is the fairest of maidens, let her be your bride, and in exchange, spare my life." A long silence followed as Väinämöinen weighed the offer. Finally, he agreed, his voice cold and distant. With a wave of his hand, he sang a softer melody, pulling Joukahainen from the grasp of the earth. The young man was free, but at what cost? The news of the arrangement shattered Aino's world. The thought of marrying the old wizard was a fate she could not bear. Day after day, she wandered the shores of the sea, her heart heavy with despair. Until one evening, unable to bear the weight of her sorrow any longer, she walked into the cold embrace of the waves, letting them carry her away to a watery grave. When the news of Aino's death reached Joukahainen, grief twisted into a dark and vengeful rage. His sister was dead because of him, because of Väinämöinen. He could not let it go unanswered. In the dead of night, he tracked Väinämöinen as the wizard rode across the frozen plains. The icy wind howled, and the stars above seemed to dim as Joukahainen took aim with his bow, his hands steady with the resolve of revenge. With a sharp twang, the arrow flew true, striking Väinämöinen's horse. The beast collapsed, sending the wizard tumbling into the frigid waters of Pohjola. For a moment, Joukahainen watched the icy sea, hoping it would claim the life of the man who had taken his sister. But Väinämöinen was no ordinary man. He fought against the cold and the waves, pulling himself to safety, his spirit unbroken. The fate of Joukahainen after that dark deed is lost to time, his story fading into the shadows of the ancient woods. But the echoes of his arrogance and the tragedy it wrought linger still, a reminder of the perils of pride and the deep scars it can leave behind.